I'm here with Surabhi and Kerstin, and we're going to talk a little bit about our top two ideas for marketing and PR and social media. So for me, the top two things in marketing for musicians, I would say, would be start a mailing list. I know it sounds like boring and old-fashioned, but it's actually really, really cool. I'll talk more about it in other videos. And the other thing is to actually then start really working hard on social media. And again, it sounds like, but that's obvious. But actually, if you pair the two together, you get something that's really powerful.
Yeah, what I will say is to approach public relations or PR, the first thing that one must have is a story to tell, like a moving story. So create your story and tell it to everyone. And the second most important point is identify the best channel for yourself, or for your company, for your product. The best newspaper or the best magazine, the best sections of online, or maybe the best journalist or most appropriate journalist to target.
Do you have a tip for when you approach journalists that you don't know? How do you usually, can you just cold call? Is that okay?
Actually, the most important, you can't just cold call a journalist.
Okay.
You need to know about the journalist, what kind of stories the journalist writes, so that you can engage with the journalist at some level. You just can't take the phone and call the journalist saying that blah blah blah. It's always best to approach the journalist via mail, and it's always better that you already know about the topics that the journalist covers, what are the stories, and it's best to start the discussion with the journalist's stories, so they themselves will start engaging.
It's true. I've heard that too. It's interesting that you mirror that as well. I heard someone from TechCrunch talk once, and he said he got really annoyed with people who's cold calling him all the time. But then this one guy called him up and said, "Hey, I know that you love this bar, and let me take you out there for a beer." And he was like, "Okay, cool, yeah, sure, I'll do that," because he was so impressed that he had actually read his stories and knew exactly what bar he liked, what kind of beer or whatever. So it's kind of interesting.
Yes.
So Kerstin, how about social media?
Yeah, so my tips are related to this, and I'm quoting the Spartan life coach to build rapport. And rapport is when you make the person identify with you, and it can, I guess the easiest way is to be vulnerable, to be not perfect, to maybe say something wrong, do bloopers. And there are other ways of creating rapport. I guess you can research that yourself. But the most important thing to build rapport, which would be then my second tips, I'm cheating here, is that you research who is your audience, and so look how old are they, what are their interests, and also think about the same handicaps blindness or other things that you could. That will create rapport, because you will be more appear more sympathetic, although you don't care really about them, but you seem like you care.
Right. Yeah. No, but you actually told me that. No, but yeah. So
I do care about everyone.
I didn't understand. I think the last thing you meant, that you should research disabilities, because why?
No, not research. You research your audience,
okay.
And the audience are always going to be some people that are disabled. They could be, they could have a diagnosis, or they could be, like I said, blind or deaf, or maybe you can do something in your social media marketing that will include them. That don't assume that everyone can hear, talk, walk, and
True.
Because the world is like that.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Really cool aspect. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you being on the blog. Okay, bye.